Hey guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, and today's video is probably not the one you were expecting because I'm trying to resist doing this thing. Every inch of me, the urge inside of me is telling me to do a video about the still images we've seen released from Home Depot in the last few days, but I'm going to... No! Stop it. I'm going to resist that urge. As good as these still images are... I said stop it. Stop it. Go away. As good as these still images are, and they look really good, Home Depot promised to release the footage of these things in the next 24 hours or so. So there's no point in me talking about these. Stop! Go! Get out! Stop it! There's no point in me talking about these still images because we are going to have actual footage to look at soon. So I'm resisting the temptation to stop it! I mean it. Go away. Go away. Back away. I'm resisting the urge to talk about them. And instead what I'm going to do is a video very similar to one I did about a year ago, where instead I'm going to talk about my top 8 animatronics coming to the UK this year so far. So let's do this. So you might be wondering, why top 8, Dan? Why not top 10? Well, there's 2 reasons for that. The first reason is because I'm kind of copying a video I did last year where I also did a top 8. And the reason I did a top 8 last year rather than a top 10 was because although there were lots of cool props, there were only really 8 that I was particularly interested in at that point last year. So it became a top 8 and the video did pretty well. So I'm kind of copying it and doing a top 8 again. And it's almost the same sort of reason, even though it was about end of May, beginning of June when I did that video, and we're now in July, we're kind of in the same situation here in the UK. Though you guys in the US have seen multiple awesome things arriving from Lowe's, Spirit, Home Depot. Stop it, Home Depot. Stop it. Still images. No. And Home Depot are about to release, and there's more to come. There'll be loads more to come. Here in the UK it's been a bit slow, and there's only really been a few places that have really shown anything worthwhile talking about. A lot of what we've seen is stuff we've seen before, but that doesn't really mean that I don't like it. And so that's what this is. This is my top 8 at the moment so far. It's my personal top 8, so don't be offended if things on it are on it that you don't like or whatever. It's just how I'm feeling right now and what I would consider buying. This list might change, it might adapt. There might be some really cool new things appearing that I don't yet know. And some of these things I'm not 100% certain they are coming to the UK. I think they are. One of them in particular, I'm certain they will, but I'm not 100% on it. But I just thought, you know, let's do this. I can't talk about you know what, there's no point if they're going to release actual footage in the next 24 hours or so. So let's do this instead. And so that's what I'm doing. So in at number 8 is a prop that was on my list last year, and I've talked about it already this year, and it's still a firm favourite of mine, but it has sunk significantly down the list, and that is the Graveyard Host. If you saw my top 8 last year, you'll know that the Graveyard Host was actually at number 1. It was my number 1 most favourite prop. And I still really I stand by everything I said in that video. I love the height of this guy. It is tall. It is over the top. I love anything that's graveyard-esque, anything to do with a phantom or a ghost, or in this case, a creepy guy in a graveyard holding a lantern and all that stuff. It ticks every box for me. I love the height of this guy. I love the creepy face mold on this guy. It's almost zombie-esque, not so much a human walking around the graveyard, but like a kind of grotesque zombie walking around a graveyard talking about the graves and stuff. But he's sunk down my list significantly, not only because there are other things I would rather have, having thought about it and analysed it, but also because he's very, very expensive for what he is. I think at the moment he's in the sort of £450 to £500 mark area, and I just don't think he's particularly worth that amount of money, as cool a prop as he is. In at number 7 is a new prop for the UK in 2023, and that is the Rotting Reaper. Now, this guy was brought over to the UK from Palmer Agencies, I spoke about them very early on in the season, this and 2 others. It is a pretty cool prop. I love a Reaper, and this is a cool looking Reaper. I like the red flame effect at its chest, I like the skull that it's holding, I like the red LED eyes. Simple but effective. I love a Reaper, I'm a sucker for a Reaper, and this is a good looking Reaper. But it is a simple Reaper. It's very simple. The animation, the animatronic actual movement of this guy is very simple, very basic. It isn't anything overly extraordinary, and it is, I would say, on the rating of Reapers, it's on the cheaper end of the scale. In fact, I didn't even include this guy in my top 10 Reapers, because of all the Reapers available, he is a kind of a cheaper end Reaper. But I do like this guy, I have to say, and he is new for 2023, so that's kind of why I'm drawn to him more than any other reason. But his price is outrageous. I think this guy is over £300, so for over £300, no thank you. In at number 6 is a prop that was also on my list last year that I absolutely love. I love this prop so much. But she's actually gone down my list. Again, she's been overtaken by other things. And that is the animated Crone Witch. This particular witch, if you didn't already know, was made by Morris Costumes. It's a really good prop. I love the movement of this witch. She has servo motors, so she has that extra layer of movement that not all props have. She's a creepy looking witch wearing very drab witch clothes. She's got the bones around her neck. She's saying creepy things about boiling up children in a pot and all that kind of stuff. She's a creepy witch, which is why I like her. But she is somewhat expensive as well. So she's definitely moved further down my list because, again, as much as I like her, I'm not sure I'm in the market for a witch right now. In at number 5 is another new prop for 2023, and that is the Floating Phantom. Now, he was brought by Palmer Agencies into the country at the same time as the Rotting Reaper, but this prop has something that I really like about it, and that is simplicity. It isn't over the top. It is literally just a phantom, a creepy looking phantom. The face mold on this thing is, I think, amazing. I love the face on this prop. It's creepy. It's just got this static scream look to it. The movement is simple. It's just swaying backwards and forwards. Its arms slowly moving backwards and forwards. It's holding a lantern, and I love a prop with a lantern. It's a flicker flame effect lantern. Another simple thing but effective thing in this prop is it's got a light under its arm which is lighting up its face, so you get to see all the details in the face properly even at night. It illuminates this guy in a really creepy way, and overall the costume looks really good. The only downside to this guy, and why he hasn't made it further up my list, number 1 again, is the price. It's very expensive. I think he's being putting out at like £400 right now, which is crazy to me. But also, it is very simple. In the same way that I love the simplicity, it is maybe just a little too simple. I did say in a previous video, maybe Digit Eyes might have looked really good on this guy, but maybe it might have taken away from it. I haven't made my mind up where I stand on that. He's also, maybe the lack of movement in the face, less facial expressions, or the fact that the mouth doesn't move at all, that could be considered a downside by some people. I personally don't think that's a downside. I like this creepy face mold and how it looks. Possibly Digit Eyes, I can't make my mind up. And the things it's saying are very phantomy, very cool. So I do love that. But also another reason why he's not made it all the way up my list is because I've got phantoms. I've got an animated phantom. I've got the Costco one, and personally I'd say he's better. He's a better prop. He does a little bit more. He's got cooler phrases. He has Digit Eyes. And he's taller as well. I think he's nearly 8 foot. So yeah, he kind of wins out in the Phantom League. So why would I spend that amount of money on a more basic Phantom is kind of the way my brain thinks. In at number 4, and it's the first of the new Costco props for 2023. And that is the Costco Skeleton Punk Rocker. Now, some of you may have expected me to put this guy further up the list, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised by it myself that he isn't further up the list. When I initially saw this guy, I thought he was amazing. I love him. I really do. He's so cool. I love the movement. I love the hand movement. I love the tombstone guitar. I love the mohawk. I love the glowing red eyes. They're simple. They're just enough to give this guy a little bit of character. I love the outfit. I love all the badges, like the Halloween-y badges on his outfit. I love the stance that he's in, and I love the phrasing he's got. I love what they've done with him. He's singing, he's saying funny things. He's really, really cool punk rocker prop, and he would look great in my horn. And I know that people who would come to see him in my horn would love him. I know they would. The only reason he's in at number 4 and not further up my list is because he's on the family-friendly end of the spectrum, and I'm kind of trying my hardest to move away from that. As much as he would be a crowd pleaser, I kind of think he's too much of a fun item. And I've got fun items. I've got banjo skeletons. I've got a family-friendly witch. Do I really need a family-friendly guitar-playing punk rocker skeleton guy? I'm not sure. I'm not ruling him out. The price is on point. This guy's only £200. So he's really, really cool, and I think he's weatherproof as well, so it's all ticking a lot of boxes for me. But at this moment in time, he's just not fully making the list properly for me. He's there, but not fully. I've not made my mind up. He keeps on moving about. I'm not going to rule him out. I'm not going to say I'm not going to end up with this guy, but he's definitely not my number 1. Let's put it that way. In at number 3 is the last of the props that was on my top 8 last year. And it's a prop that I have to include in every single top 10, top 8, whatever I do, because I absolutely love this prop. I think he's so good. But I'm not going to talk about him too much. And that is Jack Stalker. If you've been with this channel for any length of time, you'll know that I love this prop. I just think it's the epitome of a cool prop. It's got a Reaper-esque vibe without being a Reaper. He's massive, he's hulking, he's holding that pumpkin, they're interacting, they're saying fun phrases to one another. Really cool interaction between the two. I love that. I love the glowing yellow eyes on this guy. The outfit's ripped and tattered and torn. He's really creepy looking guy, and I just think he's got the mixture of kind of fun but scary perfect. It's the perfect balance. But like I say every single year whenever I do these videos, as good a prop as he is excessively expensive. I think on most sites this year he's closer to £600 than £500. And I could buy 2 props for the price of him. So unless I win the lottery, he, in honesty, isn't going to be coming home with me anytime soon. I just really, really like him. In at number 2 is a prop that I keep on messing around with. I keep on, is it my number 1? Is it my number 2? I'm not sure. My number 1 and number 2 props keep on sort of switching position in my head. I can't make my mind up where I sit with this. But right now, as I'm making this video, this is my number 2 rather than my number 1 prop. And that is the new Costco Guardian Mummy. Now, I say 1.8 meter, he's actually taller than that. I think when you see the blown up diagram, it shows him as 2.1, which is closer to 7 foot. So yeah, this guy is awesome. We've seen this guy now. Lots of people really, really like this guy, and I am one of them. He's epic. In every way a prop can be epic. He is a slightly taller prop, but he's well put together. Costco, well done Costco on this prop, I have to say. It's so well put together. I love the bandages flailing off the guy. I love the overall body mold of this guy. I like the rib cage and the way you can sort of see bones sticking out from between the bandages. The head sculpt on this guy is amazing too. He's turning his head, he's moving his arms. I'm not sure if he needed to be moving his arms, but it's kind of cool anyway. But in particular, and it's the thing everyone talks about, is the eye movement. I love that eye movement. Just simple moving backwards and forwards and blinking, the roaring sound he's making. He's such a cool prop. And again, he's weatherproof, so big thumbs up. It's an important thing in the UK that these props are weatherproof. Trust me. It's such an impressive prop, and it would go so well in my haunt because I love all the classic monsters, and he's scary without being terrifying. He's really, really cool, and I think he would be a showstopper if I brought him into my haunt. But as it stands right now, he is my number 2 prop because there is one that I've been yearning for since last year. And I'm not even fully 100% certain he's going to return to the UK this year, but I seriously hope he does, because my number 1 prop, as it stands so far, is the Costco Headless Horseman from 2022. Now, this guy came out last year. I was so close to buying him at the time, so close. But because I hadn't really planned for him and he was released quite late in the season, I hadn't had chance to sort of prepare for him in my haunt. I hadn't had time to think where I'd actually put him. I wasn't sure I even had space for him. So only on that basis did I discount him, and plus spending like £600+ on 2 props at that moment in time seemed excessive. So for that reason, I didn't buy him. But ever since, I've kind of wished I did. I've seen so many people who did buy him, who had him in their displays, and he looked amazing. Absolutely amazing. I kind of told myself, if he came to the UK this year, unless something absolutely extraordinary came out that completely blew my mind, I would be getting the Headless Horseman. I don't think there's anything you can say about this guy that isn't cool. It's massive. He's sat on a horse. I love the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I love all that story. So it's so cool. It goes with most traditional graveyard haunts, this guy. The horse is moving. It's got big red eyes. The horseman is clearly a headless horseman, but he's holding aloft that jack-o'-lantern, which is talking and saying things, and it's so cool. I think you can turn the jack-o'-lantern around to face in different directions as well, so that's a cool thing in its own right. It is just epic. Everything about it is so cool, and I would love to own that prop. Love it. And it might just happen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today. It's a bit of a longer one than normal. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me rabbit on about my top 8. Like I say, the positioning could change. Things might fall out of the list, and the new things might be replace them in the list. If we do see anything spectacular announced coming to the UK, which isn't impossible. But right now, as it stands here in July, this is my top 8, and I hope you agree with some of them, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.